the best known beats the best. So you could be the best singer in the whole world, but if no one knows about you, you're not going to get very far. Forget competition. Like, that's dead. That's not going to get you far, but cooperation. All our mind is a crazy place. Don't go there alone.
Yeah.
Never just always bring a friend. I need to let go of the fear of not getting 10,000 pounds a month profit and not getting this result at this particular time and not being attached to being a certain way. And to attract everything you want, you got to be that. You have to be the grateful, happy person who appreciates everything they already have.
Let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Varya and this is Shameless Careers, a podcast about finding fulfillment in your career. Please hit this like and subscribe buttons. I would really appreciate it as it massively helps me grow my channel. Today, my guest is Violeta, who is actually my guest for the second time, and last time we spoke was exactly a year ago. Violeta originally shifted her career from law to building her own macramé business, something that we discussed in our first interview, which you can find in the description to this video. Violeta is now a founder of Vita House School of Macramé. She is a macramé fashion designer and teacher in London. Since our last interview, Violeta has been on a true roller coaster. She tried multiple avenues to monetize her business. Something has worked, something has failed, but most importantly, once Violeta started scaling her business, she found out she was pregnant, which of course was amazing news, but also a whole emotional challenge given ambitious business plans that Violeta has. So Violeta, welcome back to Shameless Careers, and can't wait to talk to you about everything that's happened in the past year. On the practical side, like what have you learned when you tried to scale and monetize your business, but also on the emotional side, like how did you reconcile these two events, having grandiose business plans, but also having a baby coming up?
Thank you so much for having me back, Varia. Thank you for the introduction.
And let's remind everyone, what is your business so that everyone has the context? And then can you please touch upon what type of monetization tactics have you tried in the past year?
Yeah, sure. I am founder of a school. So Vita House is a school of macrame, mindfulness and magic. So it's evolved around macrame, which is a form of textiles, which is something you make with your hands. So it's very relatable to anyone who is in the craft business, let's say. So if you're making things by hands, whether it's any products or if you're into teaching other people how to make your products, whether it's, clothes, shoes, accessories, furniture, anything and everything, then it's kind of what I'm involved in.
And what you can share your tips around, exactly. Right?
So
around growing.
So you can, my experiences and the things I've tried, and like you said, different streams of monetizations that I've tried would be helpful to anyone who is in the industry of creating something with your hands, selling the finished product, and being in the services of teaching other people how they can make this product, whether it's focused on the final product or whether it's focused on the actual creative process, which is what I focus on in my school, the creative process of building clothes, dresses using a macrame technique, which is technique of using your hands, rope, tying knots through this like repetitive meditative process, and it's like turns into a one-day retreat. And the streams, what have I tried? let's go to that. The things that I've tried to make money, because we're in business. This is no longer started off as a hobby when I worked as a lawyer full time, but turning into a business, we got to think, how do we make profit? How do we make money first, and then how do we make profit? So let's see, what have I tried to make money and make profit in the business? I started off by selling finished products to friends and family. Then it evolved to selling finished products, dresses and macrame dresses and bits and things at markets, at pop-ups, selling them online on Etsy, through Instagram, Facebook, teaching friends and family, just kind of, sometimes for free, sometimes for a little bit of money, then teaching bigger groups of people, opening up a shop. I had a pop-up in Brick Lane as well in London, then evolving into more teaching, going online, subscriptions on Instagram. You can get subscriptions for like online courses, having online courses, and
Retreats.
retreats. Oh my goodness, I've got retreats, actually creating these experiences. So like 1-day experiences or like a weekday experiences in the UK, in London and abroad, like the Maldives. This is what, this time last year when we spoke, it was literally 2 months before we went on retreat to Maldives.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So, and retreats. I think that's quite a good number of things to try. Yeah, for sure. Experiment with.
Exactly. And this is exactly why I really wanted to ask you all the questions about that, because it would be really interesting and insightful to see, out of all these things you have tried, what has worked, what hasn't worked as well as you expected. Like, what did you learn from these different tactics?
So you know what? Actually, different things worked at different times. And something stopped working, and I realized that I've got to stop pushing them. Because when you continue pushing something that doesn't work, it gives you no results. You just get frustrated. So what has worked the best is teaching. That's what I found. What has worked the best is giving people an opportunity. So it's like, I'd say it's like what do you call it? Like a merger, a combination, a taste of a retreat. So we're not going on a full-on retreat for 10 days in the Maldives that requires a larger commitment of money and time, but we're bringing it back to a 1-day retreat where you can create this beautiful project that you could have otherwise bought. Let's say a dress, a beautiful like goddess macramé dress. So having this 1 day where you can start from morning till the evening, adding the mindful process that comes from the retreat, the meditation, the community, the crafting, the learning new things, and then ending with the finished product if you have an occasion or an event that you want to go to. So instead of just going and buying online in the shop, or instead of going like learning something online or going away for a long time, is this combination. So I think the best thing that's worked was teaching 1-day masterclasses. That is what's worked the best. The person comes in, they meet new people, they learn new skills, and they leave with a finished product that they've created themselves.
That's super. And out of the things that didn't work, what was less effective and why do you think it didn't work? And the reason why I'm asking is, if someone is at the very beginning of their journey and want to try all those things, like what do they need to be aware of?
So in terms of selling finished products, that's an interesting one. When you sell a finished product, you spend time and effort and material into creating this product, and you can only sell it once, right? And when you're there in a physical space to sell it, like whether when I had a boutique or whether I was doing pop-ups like every month, you're investing time and money into the space like you always do. So then you always like, there's the pressure of getting that money back. And then is to get the right audience for your product, for then people to buy. Selling is not as easy. To get a person to commit to pay money for something is actually not as simple. Many people may like your thing, and like the biggest test of testing if your product is in demand or not is people's money, if they're willing to pay for it. Because if your friends and family say, yeah, I love it, it's so nice what you're making, it's so beautiful, it's so pretty, oh, it's so wear it, okay, buy it. Right now, this, like, and there's a reason.
There are all the excuses.
Yeah, it's just, that's it. So are you willing to actually pay money for this product? So I found that being in pop-ups at first, because I wasn't specialized, I kind of find my little niche, which was people who would go to fancy parties, specialist parties, because macrame clothing is very unique, or like the people who go to festivals. So somewhere where you would make an effort to dress up. So that was good. It worked for the first year and people would buy. And I was like, wow, I'm making good money here. And then it stopped. Whether it's the economy, whether people just stopped. And this is post the pandemic. This is like, I'll say what would be about 2022, 2023. So in 2023, people stopped buying, stopped spending money. And I was like, okay, so that doesn't work anymore. So I've pulled away from that completely. So I no longer would sell in physical spaces. Online, okay, online is a bit better. Still, if you're not under pressure to make a lot of money. But the biggest thing about selling is you need more people to know about your product, because the percentage of people actually buying is very small to people who know about you. So you need hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people to know about you. And to get to that level, you need to be on show all the time. And the best way to be on show is by using social media. If before you invest too much money in it.
Right, and interesting you've mentioned that economic situation matters as well. So previously you did make a lot of sales, but now then after the pandemic, something has changed. Obviously, there was like cost of living crisis, general inflation, etc. So people were not willing to spend as much. Probably that also affected them going to retreats physically, and as a result, these are just things that are outside of like your control, and that's something to be aware of as well.
And it's important to adapt. You can have a rule book and you can have all these options, but it's important to adapt to what is happening right now around you, with people. What works and what doesn't work, like what people are demanding, what do they want, what's the mood like.
And interestingly, people wanted experience, right? Because your one-day retreats, when you had 1 day of like mindfulness, macramé, that worked. And I understand that it was showing quite a bit of growth, right?
Yes, that's the one that worked really well. And I think it would continue, like I know would continue to grow. And I had students who would, and when I say students, I mean mainly women, age from 20 to 70, 75, who would come back for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time. And it was incredible. They would come back for this mindful experience that would be dedicated to themselves. No one else, not their kids, friends, jobs, commitment, everything like the business and the action that we are surrounded in life, but it would be for them. And they're there creating. And then they're building this beautiful thing, this beautiful dress, and then they able to wear themselves, look in the mirror and be like, wow, women cry because they like, I'm still so proud of myself. I've made this. And there are no phones throughout the experience. I always offer to take photos and videos of people, creating, because I know we want to keep memories, but for them, they can just be in the process, and then they have the finished product. So they have all of it, but it's mindful. It's not just buy it. It means so much more than going online and buying yourself a really expensive dress or handbag or something like this. There's so much more, and there's energy, and they want to come back because they just loved their life in that moment. They loved how they were being in that moment. They loved learning new things. They loved the creative things, and they've learned many useful life skills through this process, like attention to detail, like being okay with making mistakes. Because I tell them, this is about destroy. You got to destroy, got to unwrap it, got to start it again. They've got to be okay with that. They've got to practice their patience. And being okay with just exploring and being present in that moment. So that worked beautifully. So you see, it's not about money, but it brought money.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's not you have expanded it from the product itself to something more than that, to an experience for them to. Yeah, just a very mindfulness experience.
It's like 2 in 1, right? Because it's service and product. Because usually you split. Like if you're doing a business, you're kind of like, what are you going to focus on? Are you going to sell products, or are you going to sell a service, or are you going to sell both in different ways? And these 1-day masterclasses, it's kind of both, because I'm selling a service, I'm teaching, but at the end of the day, they live with the finished product.
Yeah.
And then online teaching, of course, online courses, which is also good, which is something. It's a step-by-step video tutorial. So people can create from the comfort of their homes. The difference is they need to source their own materials and they need to organize themselves. So I'm there on the video, like on the screen supporting them, but it's not in real life. So there's that, which works better for people who already have a little bit of knowledge in macramé or in whatever craft you're teaching. Just something that I've noticed. And then in terms of teaching, you can spread it to children. I tried going for Vita Kids, so teaching kids do little crafty bits. It didn't go too far. It worked amazingly, but it kind of, we'll get to this point. It was when I was just took on too many things at once.
Yeah, and actually, let's pause on the moment because I think that was an important part in your journey when you realized that you want to scale your business, that it's not enough to kind of bring in more people to have them like pay for the experience, pay for the product, that something was off in this business model in the sense that you realize that it's not super scalable. So can you tell me a bit more about that? And then how did you change your strategy to make it more scalable afterwards?
Yeah, of course. Because if we're talking about teaching in person, there's only one me, and there's only so many days and hours, and there's so many people I can take. So there's always a cap on how much I can do. And I cannot, it's kind of be working 7 days a week because they're full on days and there's preparation. So as soon as I found Vita House, a physical space for my school, because before that I taught for a year just from my living room, and I would only be able to teach 1 day a week on Sundays. And now I found the space, and now I was free to teach whenever I wanted, and it was already set beautifully. There was so much ease and comfort came from that, in addition to additional responsibility and financial pressure of paying rent and ordering more materials. Because if I'm teaching more people, I need to order more materials. So the outgoings poured out more so that I can bring more. So I kind of ended up on this making the same amount of, I would bring in more money, but the spending would be more as well.
So the profit kind of was
just
stale. So it was stable.
Yeah,
it was the same.
And I was like, okay, I need another source of income. How can you scale? Well, the biggest way of scaling is selling things online. So something you spend time and effort into creating once, like an online video tutorial, takes time. Gosh, it takes time and effort and editing. But then you can sell it hundreds and thousands of times. So that's how we scale. So that's what I started to focus on. And I was like, okay, so I have this. Let me actually learn from people who have multi-million profit making businesses. And one of those people I came across, his name is Dan Locke, not in person, he's just like an online coach, kind of something popped up on my Instagram. I was like, oh, okay, because our phones are listening. They kind of know what we want. And then that's how I was like, how do I scale? Okay, that's how you scale it.
Now that you've mentioned the guy, I think I have seen it too.
Yeah, no,
which confirms that all of our phones are being listened to.
I know. Just think it's scary.
Dan Locke is yet to come into my life.
Exactly. So I was like, okay. So I started off with a small introduction. It's very good to do these things, not just for the information that you learn from it, but also from learning how they do it, because they're doing something right if they're getting all this money, if they're getting all this exposure. So I started off with just like a small introductory live seminar that I paid like £70 for. It's like £70. It's not too much. You're not too attached to it. I'm like, okay, I don't know this guy. I don't know how it's going to be. So I went for it. And it was great. Like, it was very informative, very inspirational, plus very followed up with 3 phone calls with like a personal coach, like they will help you with the strategy. So it was very on point of helping you implement what you've learned through the seminar. Which is brilliant.
Do you remember?
Brilliant.
And do you remember what was most useful there? So what was this light bulb moment for you when you're like, oh, listening to this guy, I realized that there is a way to scale my business that I haven't thought about before?
So it was pushing the online, of course, online courses. Because like as soon as the woman spoke to me, she was like, well, if you're the in-person classes is really good, but if you go into scale, you're going to struggle with that. And I was like, okay, because it's cool to do even seminars or teaching in person, but if you're going to scale, it's got to be pre-recorded material. So they say your assets or books, write a book. That's also very good. It gives you authority. You don't have to write a book about what you know. You could create a collective book of knowledge of collective group of people who are within your industry. and sell that. So this is something I want to do now. So if I get a group of macrame fashion designers, macrame could be different, it could be interior design, but macrame fashion designers, and create a book about their background stories, like you're asking me what worked, what didn't work, what they're doing right now, and then there's a book, look, there's an asset, then I could sell an infinite number of times.
That's amazing.
So if you're in your business of doing like podcasts, or journalism, you get top people who have started doing this or have knowledge in this and put it together and call it, top 10 so-and-so professionals in this area. And then you put yourself as one of those top 10 professionals.
Yeah,
And
so it's
yeah.
a way to, even if you're not ultra expert in your space, you can still kind of pull things together and create a valuable product and then scale
Exactly,
it.
yeah, and call them your assets. And these assets that last forever. There's like valuable things that you can then resell. So that was one thing. And then another thing that was just like that blew my mind as well, very simple, is that the best known beats the best. The best known beats the best. So you could be the best singer in the whole world, but if no one knows about you, you're not going to get very far. So you got to be the best known. You got to get loads of people to know about you.
Which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the law that applies to like bloody everything, even corporate career. It doesn't matter if you're doing an amazing job. The moment you're in the corner and no one knows about you, like you're probably not going to progress.
Yeah, that's it. And how do you become the best known? Well, let's see. In the modern world, tada, social media. How many social medias do we have? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What else is there?
LinkedIn.
Da-da-da. All of it. But of course, when you're like all of it, you're like overwhelmed. Oh my God, how could I do all of it? Because it's a lot of work to do it all at once. And then you select one and work on just one, developing really, really well. So it's just like, it's these things. It kind of seems a little bit artificial in a way, like a bit unfair, like you just got to push these things to get known. But on one hand, it's the reality of how it is, because if people don't, because many people may want to learn from me, from you, and from anyone else who's crafting, who's creating, but they just don't know about their existence.
Yeah.
They don't know that it's available.
Well, and coming back to what we've just talked about scale, if the end game is to make something scalable, of course it goes hand in hand with being known,
Number of
because
sales.
you need to have distribution,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly.
visibility.
And that's how you increase your distribution and how you increase your number of sales. That it's honestly like right now, what's happening right now. So I have, and making friends is really important, by the way. Like making friends with people within your industry, very important. So it's not about just forget competition. Like that's dead. That's not going to get you far. But cooperation, working together is good. So there's one amazing macrame artist. She's also a macrame fashion designer. I've never met her in person, but we just kind of connected. And she has over 130K follows Instagram. It's a full-time job teaching online courses, and now she started into selling as well. And one of her another reel blew up, is like going to 7 million now, and she's getting, that's how she makes money. So that's how people want to buy. And she's based far away in Russia, and she doesn't speak English. So she reached out to me. She was like, you know what, I have so many orders for these like fancy sparkly bottle bags, like net bottle bags, but can I send them over to you? Because there's all these people from Europe, from America, because they want to buy, and I can't make so many. Imagine over 6 million views. It's like over 300, 400, 500 comments and requests. She's like, I'm afraid to open my inbox. So she sent them to me. So now I've got like people buying from me. I'm like, okay, sure, quickly send me. Create an Etsy account. I already had one, but Etsy product, easy way for people, make it easy for people to buy. Mm-hmm. Give them options. If they need to pay in 1, 2, 3 installments, give them options. So that's kind of just popped up 2 days ago. I'm like, oh, thanks. So it's helping each other. So she did it for me she didn't ask for a percentage or anything like that. It was just like, let's not waste these people. We're in this together. And I kind of do these things for other people when I'm teaching. I want, like, I'm teaching you now, you in a master class, and you can create this final product, this dress, but actually you can take the skills yourself. You can take the skills home yourself, and then you can carry on, and then you can take some orders from other people. And that's what happens. Some of my students, they now getting custom orders from their friends to make dresses for their friends, and they're getting, they're doing what they like, but they're getting little money. So it's this being helpful to each other, just being kind to each other.
And just to come back to the scaling part, so basically, kind of linking back to what we started from, you have tried a number of tactics, you realized you need to scale, you went to this amazing course, and you realize that basically you need to take it to a different direction, which is online courses. And I remember you've mentioned as well online coaching as another way to scale,
and
right?
on online coaching, because I thought, well, I know some stuff now about what works, what doesn't, and just like the emotional side of it as well as the practical side. So I kind of started doing that, and I created an Instagram subscription, which is like an option, kind of exclusive video content. Started doing that. It didn't go too far. Then I started learning about how to scale in terms of marketing, how to get more people to know. But I started learning about YouTube, how to post on YouTube. So I started learning a lot intensely at the same time, with big long to-do lists, like really like in the super business woman mode, kind of a lot on me. And then found out I was pregnant.
Yes, tell me more.
Yeah, and then I found out I was pregnant, and that was unexpected. I wanted to have I have a 4-year-old son, and I wanted to have a second child, but I thought, just not now. I'm not ready just yet. I just opened up Vita House. This is 2 weeks into opening the physical school, the physical space. So I, all my plans, and how I wanted things done, how I expected things done, wanting to be in control so much of like how I want things to evolve. And then I find out that I'm pregnant, and then, like, on one hand I'm happy, but I'm really nervous, and on the other hand I feel hormones are going crazy, and then I just feel tired, and then I can't get out of bed. Can't get off the sofa. I can't do all those lists, all those actions that I wanted to do, and I feel bad for not achieving what I wanted to achieve in my business, and I feel bad for not being as grateful as I think I should be for being blessed with another child. So I just feel bad all around, depressed, negative thoughts, and just alone and scared that, oh my God, is this going to go on forever now? And thinking that now I'm going to be an unwanted person to do business with because I'm pregnant, because you can't expect as much from a pregnant person as you're from another, because it comes from, physical. You have a much bigger job now, a much bigger job, creating a human being inside of me, and with everything that comes with that. So it was really, really difficult. So I just I tried to push. It was too much. I reached out to friends, which was really helpful at that time. Like, I reached out to one of students from the class, just a voice message on the phone saying how much I'm struggling, received some love in return. And then I was just, okay, that's it. I'm stopping. Like, I'm just going to stop. So I just stopped even going into Vita House, stopped all the teaching, and made an opportunity came to go on holiday in France, just to relax with my son, with another mom, with their children as well, just to relax. So that was my way of just taking a pause.
And it goes to show just how difficult it is for an ambitious woman to kind of to feel still very much ambitious and on track with this big news, right? Because you feel like, oh, will I have all this time, capacity, and energy, right, to pursue my goals? But at the same time, like, why am I thinking about this? I should be super grateful that I'm about to have a child. And I think, like, all of this becomes just like an probably constant thought process. And to your point, guilt, where you feel like guilty across all dimensions.
About everything. Yeah. And you just feel like I just wasn't good enough for any of this. Like, I wasn't good enough for the business. I wasn't doing good enough to be mom. I wasn't doing good at home because it's difficult to be, like, I was depressed. It's difficult to be at home with a person who's depressed. Like my partner, like it's tough to come home to someone who's like super low, like feeling really low and down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I kind of understand in my head. I was like, I don't want to be like this.
But then at the same time, if you feel this way, like, even if you, well, I mean, it's another point of stress, right? Because you feel like you shouldn't be like this.
Yeah,
but
and
you
you,
still
and
feel
you
like
put
this,
more
right?
pressure. It doesn't help. You put more pressure on yourself, and it was really helpful for me to reach out to another, like reach out to friends. If anyone is going through something like this, just don't be alone. Reach out to friends, because they're friends who will be like, it's okay, like it's okay to go through these feelings. Like you don't have to, like, constantly force yourself to get out of feeling sad. Like it's okay just to be sad for a little bit. Like don't drown in it, but it's okay. Just feel sad. Okay, you feel sad, that's fine.
And also,
Yeah.
probably a lot of those things, actually, a lot of this pressure almost comes from your thought process, in the sense that maybe other people didn't even like think that you will not be able to teach a good macrame class,
Yeah,
right?
no,
So
of course, it was all me. It's all our mind. Our mind is our mind is a crazy place. Don't go there alone.
yeah,
Never, just always bring a friend or two or three. Always share. Like it's so okay, and that would help me to kind of get out of that state, because it didn't last it didn't last forever, and it doesn't last forever. That's the thing. It doesn't last forever. But when you're in that state, you think that it lasts forever. And then I waited, and I had a nice holiday. And I came back, and it was the second trimester of pregnancy. So the hormones kind of relaxed a bit. They
Chilled
kind of,
out.
chilled out. And I was like, oh, I have a bump, but I'm feeling like myself. But I didn't stop there. I needed something else to happen. I didn't stop there, because, wow, now if I'm feeling so good, I can go back to going 100%. I was just like, because now I feel good. Oh my God, again, I have the energy. So I went in for 100%. I got an intern. I decided to do another fashion show in like September. I have months to prepare for a big fashion show. Instead of 9 models, I had 18 models.
yeah, of course, that's what you do when you're pregnant. You just a fashion show.
Just like everything. And then I was like, okay, we're going to expand to Vita Kids. I started teaching children as well, classes. I'm going to involve crystals as well. So I got like a partnership with someone who's selling crystals. So we're going to incorporate crystals and the meaning of that into the dresses as well. And all of this, all at once. And then it came to the point again. So like I'll say for about a month and a half, I was feeling all energized and was pushing. Oh, and then I was doing, so instead of kind of going super focusing on business, I'm going to super focus on the spirituality and the mental. So I followed another teacher, like 2 other women, one a mother, one from like Mind Valley. If you've heard of the Mind Valley, they have like so many like exceptional people. She made these millions, and now she teach from her. So I did a course learning from her, and it was all about making $10,000 or £10,000 a month. So I set an alarm on my phone that would ring every hour. That would say 10K, 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 to remind myself. 10K, to my brain, 10K, 10K, I'm going to make 10K. But it was so forced. It was so, I'm not saying not to do this stuff, but it was I did everything too much, because I was like, until the time when I go to my 3rd trimester, when I know like I'm going to feel like a week again, I just really need to do it all at once. And it came to the point again of another breakdown. To the point when a person who I was working with said really toughly that they don't want to work with me again, because I have money problems, because I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm all over the place. So kind of using all those things that I felt bad about myself, but using them as reasons not to be involved with me anymore. And that broke me. That broke, because I kind of like knew that was what was going on, but I wasn't ready to hear it from an outsider who doesn't know me that well, but it's kind of just like on the plate. Something again I learned also about when you have people working with you in terms of friends and work people, there has to be a fine line between the two of how you like communicate and things like that. But I'm so grateful for every single bit of experience, because it was after that I was like, okay, it's obviously not working. I'm all over the place and I'm in debt. Something's not working. And then I took a real pause. Like, it wasn't forced. I took a real pause and I accepted. I was like, okay, you know what? It's okay. It's okay that I don't actually have a plan. like a clear plan of what's going to be like going forward. I know I'm having a baby. I know I have Vita House. I know I need to slow down on teaching because things I need to take a break. I know I can slow down. I was like, okay, now I'm going to focus on, I still need stream of income. I still need, some. I'm going to focus on online courses. So I'm going to focus on developing my online assets that I can then sell. So filming a little bit, editing. And as soon as I reached that state of not like kind of pretending, well, I'm okay with it, but actually thinking, what else can I quickly do to expand or to build or to become better? That's when I kind of got rid of this need to be in control.
And you kind of decided to focus, right? On something that makes sense, not rush, kind of calm yourself down and focus on something that you think is a good strategy for long term.
Letting go of the fear of letting go. At the beginning of my master classes, everything. So I teach to other people. I practice myself, and sometimes I forget. True, but when I practice myself at work, so at the opening circle, we do an exercise where we let go of the fear of letting go by literally just like destroying and cutting some rope and saying whatever you need to say. And that's what I needed to do. I need to let go of the fear of not getting £10,000 a month profit and not getting this result at this particular time and not being attached to being a certain way or not things working out for me. And then when I let go of that, and a beautiful opportunity came along, which is in the process now, which would be me creating some, I'm not going to mention names right now, but creating costumes for like incredible theatrical show, some goddess dresses for a West London musical.
Which is a big job. Like, I know you can't mention names or anything, but I know that this is something that you were striving for before. And actually, it's like almost like at the moment when you realized that, okay, you're letting go, something as amazing comes into your life, which is pretty magical, no?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's in order for us to bring something new into our life, something we want, we need to have the space. So to create the space, we need to destroy whatever doesn't serve us, is not good for us. And it's easy to say things like destroy, get rid of it, but actually, taking action to get rid of these fears and to be like, you know what, I'm okay with this not working out. I'm not going to expand my business in this way, and I'm just going to stop doing fashion shows. I'm going to stop selling at markets. I'm going to stop doing this, and then something new comes along. And for like next steps where I see myself having the baby, doing this project, kind of taking as long as I need in my maternity leave. I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to be until I start teaching in person again. I will do. There is demand for it. People love it, and I love doing it as well. But in the future, I see costumes on big screens, Hollywood films, like creating these beautiful like macramé dresses, hoods, like costume for like maybe June, or like like fantasy type, like Harry Potter, that kind of vibe. And teaching at universities, because I'm actually a student of Central St. Martin's when I studied textile design all these years ago, and they still don't have macrame classes within their textile design, within their fashion departments. And I see myself teaching there as a professor, macrame fashion.
Which there is also something to be said about kind of jumping into something that is new and may become trendy. For example, macrame, right, is a perfect example of something that's becoming more and more trendy, and you can see it. And there is no one teaching there, and there is an opportunity for you to come in and do it. So kind of one of the lessons learned is like, it's almost like some people say it's good to be part of fast flowing river. So something that's taking off and you're part of it, and look, like there is demand to do these things for theaters, teach. So kind of we have spoken about your vision for the future, but what type of mindset you're taking with you for this future based on all your learnings, based on everything that you have experienced, like rushing, chasing, then coming down? Like, kind of what mindset do you want to have as you pursue your goals in the future?
So to do more of what I know works and to do less of what I know doesn't work. And one of the biggest things that I've learned, what is bad for me, not just for me, I think for every single human in the whole world, is looking at your phone too much, being addicted to your smartphone. And that's a huge thing, because when we're in a digital age, and if we want to expand our businesses and using all the social medias, it involves phones, but not just social media, but emails, text messages, this like action kind of seeking new information is like this addiction to new information. What's new and scrolling. And I know that when I'm on my phone for too long, it makes me feel frustrated, and it makes every single person feel frustrated. This dopamine addiction. So I know that when I don't touch my phone in the morning until at least 9 a.m. and I have 2-3 hours to do whatever I need to do without my phone, I feel lighter. I feel better, because I wake up and I'm not instantly putting all this unnecessary amount of information into my brain straight away. So I know this works every time, right? Every time when I feel overwhelmed, I know it's because I've been on my phone for too long. And it's for every single person. Try it, just every single person. Get off your phone. Just give yourself time to be off your phone and go for a walk. Hug a tree.
Yeah.
Not joking, like literally just go hug, like just be there. You have time. We think we don't have time, but we spend more time on the toilet scrolling a phone, than going kind of outside for some fresh air.
Yeah. Let alone the fact that any sustainable results take time. And if you're used to this constant dopamine hits from social media, messages, checking the news, you probably become also more impatient with the projects that you're working on.
Yeah, and you're wanting results. So this is the biggest advice. Just take time off your smartphone. Whatever business you're building, take time off the screens. It really, really, really helps.
And how about your attitude towards chasing like profits, new ideas? Like, what advice do you want to give to like others, but maybe also like your future self as you embark on this journey?
Yeah. What am I telling my future self? Okay, Violetta, listen, you got to be realistic. If you're in business, you got to make money. But if you're in life, you've got to enjoy life and have the balance. And I don't want to I don't want to be purely in business and chasing that money, because there's a lot of teachers out there who are very aggressive in terms of getting exposure and making money. I want to enjoy my life. And when you enjoy life at work, you will enjoy life in your family life much better, your personal life much better, because you're doing well there. You bring the goodness and the good attitude into your family. If everything is good with family and you need to have the energy for the family, you'll bring the good attitude back to your work. So it's, as soon as you feel, and it's very individual for everyone, but very to me, as soon as I feel that it's too much, just stop pushing. And this is what I've literally been telling myself, like, stop pushing it, stop pretending that it's something is mindful when it's not, when you're like forcing yourself to make a particular income each month. And this is what the stage where I'm right now. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I feel really happy and grateful. And same advice that I said in my first interview about practicing gratitude and writing out things. If you're feeling really sad, write out the 10 things you're grateful for. Your home, your friends, your legs, the clothes that you have, your house, the money that you're already receiving. Be grateful for that, and it instantly changes it. And I teach my son, he's got a gratitude magnet. I say, here is your gratitude magnet. And whenever you're feeling happy, it attracts more happy to you. Whenever you're feeling grateful for any choice you have, it attracts more to you. And whenever you're feeling upset or angry or frustrated, it attracts them more. And so he asked me, like, Mommy, how's my gratitude magnet today? So I just wish everyone to practice their gratitude magnet and to make sure that you attract everything that you want. And to attract everything you want, you got to be that. You have to be the grateful, happy person who appreciates everything they already have.
I think it's a perfect time to finish on that note.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Violetta, for being here with me today. Good luck with everything family-wise. Good luck with your project. And yeah, I look forward to speaking in 1 year's time, see
I
what's
know.
happened.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you. It feels like home being here. Thank you so much. Thank you.